Oh boy. Glenn Greenwald seems to have a reprobate mind, according to the descriptions. He's in some sort of maid's outfit on his knees, licking the toes of some man, some prostitute that he's paid money. Allegedly, there's a methamphetamine pipe involved in this, and people are saying he was doing meth. All of this sounds crazy. All of this sounds like a reprobate mind. All of this sounds like someone who has taken on the identity of whatever his penis tells him his identity is. And since his penis seems to get excited over other men, his identity is homosexual. It's a mistake. It's a huge mistake. And as long as you take your identity from your sex organ, whatever makes you moist, whatever makes you erect, eventually you're going to have a reprobate mind. And so I get all the people that are grossed out, offended, want to distance themselves from Glenn Greenwald. I don't want to distance myself from his journalism. And that is not a defense of his degenerate sexual lifestyle. That is not a defense. That is not me saying, hey, it doesn't matter what goes on in his personal life. This is me saying there are so few people pursuing the truth, so few people willing to break from tribalism, so few people that have the gift of actual honest journalism, that this man's work is so valuable that I'm reluctant to walk away from his work, and that I'm actually hopeful that this entire exposure of Glenn Greenwald, and I've read the people that think he leaked this himself. Whether he leaked it or someone leaked it to silence him, I don't know what the motive is, but to me, it's all a cry for help. This man is in free fall. Whether he leaked the tape or someone else leaked the tape, whether he recorded it, which people are saying, I haven't watched the tape, they're saying he recorded it. I'll take people at his word. But this is a man in free fall who has a gift, a God-given gift. All truth emanates from God. All truth emanates from God. And so this man has been blessed with a journalistic gift. He is not going to maximize it or use it properly as long as he is in unrepentant sexual sin. No different than, although slightly, and I'm going to break down, but no different than I've been given a journalistic gift. Discernment, writing skills, broadcasting skills. These are gifts from God. They are not me. I've told you I was virtually retarded in high school and in college. I'm not that smart. These are gifts. And I have mismanaged my gifts with my heterosexual promiscuity and my previous degenerate lifestyle where I used to love to live in strip clubs and chase young women. I've diminished it with my gluttony. I could be more effective if I were in better shape. Now, as it relates to Glenn Greenwald and this abomination that he's involved in, and there is a difference between gluttony and this abominable behavior that Glenn Greenwald is involved in. This man has adopted 2 young children. This man married another man, or I hate to use the word married, but this man is involved in some sort of relationship with another man who has now passed on. If you exist in this identity that your penis and what excites your penis controls your identity, that's a rejection of your biblical identity that you're an image bearer of God, that you're a Christian, that you're a child of God. You've now taken your identity from your sexual organ. This is retardation. and it will bring down a brilliant man. And trust me, Glenn Greenwald is a brilliant, courageous man. But he's taken on the wrong identity, and that identity is taking him straight to hell, to where he's on his knees and paying someone to humiliate him while he licks his feet and while he takes drugs and disappears. And again, I haven't watched the tape. This is what I've been told, that this is inside his home, the very home where he allegedly, or I guess, is raising 2 young boys. I understand why people are concerned and they want some distance from Glenn Greenwald. If you go through the story of his marriage to this partner that he married that is now passed, I think the story is Glenn Greenwald was 38 and he met this man when this man was 19 years old, and then they later got married, and then they later adopted these young kids. And so there are people, wise people out there saying, look at this behavior. When you decide you control your morality, you write the rules of your morality, not the Bible, not God, you write the laws of your morality. Well, you can justify anything, and man will justify anything. And so Glenn Greenwald, can we get his original statement up where he responds? This isn't him responding to me. Yeah, this is his original statement to this leak of this video and the defiance. And so I read this like a lot of people. Let me share it with you all. Last night, videos were released online depicting behavior in my private life. Some were distorted and others were not. They were published without my knowledge or consent, and its publication was therefore criminal. Though we do not yet know exactly who is responsible, we are close to knowing, and the motive was a maliciously political one. As for the content of the videos, I have no embarrassment or regret about them. The videos depict consenting adults engaged in intimate actions in their private lives. They all display fully consensual behavior harming nobody. Obviously, it can be uncomfortable and unpleasant when your private behavior is made public against your will. That's why the behavior is private in the first place. But the only wrongdoing here is the criminal and malicious publication of videos in an attempt to malign perceived political enemies and advance a political agendas. Others are, of course, free to form their own judgments, as some are prone to do about others' private lives. It won't change my work. I will continue all the many prongs of my journalism and pursue the causes most important to me exactly as before. That's Glenn Greenwald. I don't buy that statement in totality. The defiance. I'm not embarrassed. I have no shame. I've done nothing wrong. It harms no one. This again, when men are left to define their own morality, will justify anything. Go look at Bill Belichick. That's a man that is defining his own morality. That's why he's running around with a woman who's his granddaughter's age, because he thinks he's a god, and he thinks he can define his own morality. And at 73 years old, hey, I can run around with a 24-year-old. I can embarrass my kids. I can embarrass my ex-wife. I can embarrass the people that looked up to me and said, hey, there's an example of male leadership that I can follow behind. I can harm my entire legacy because my penis is in control of my morality. Bill Belichick's making a fool of himself. And the reason I know it is because I'm capable of the exact same thing. The exact thoughts that justify what Bill Belichick is doing run through my mind almost on a daily basis. But that's why I don't leave it to myself. I leave it to God. There's nothing in the Bible that says that a 70-some-odd-year-old man can't be involved in a relationship with a 24-year-old woman. I can't give you scripture to say that a 74-year-old shouldn't be involved with a 24-year-old. But I can tell you that when you reach a level of leadership, and this is Virgil. I hope Virgil's watching. You can help me out in the post-show conversation. But when you reach a level of leadership where you're looked at as discipling other men, there's these, and I know Bill Belichick's not a minister, but when you reach that level of respect and young men are looking up to you, you have to be involved in behavior that is beyond reproach. You can't be out here publicly, willy-nilly, just doing any and everything. You can't do anything that smears your reputation or calls into question your reputation. Bill Belichick has done that foolishly. He doesn't have to. He's got a world of other options beyond some 24-year-old child that he's taking advantage of to please his penis. This is wrong. Glenn Greenwald. This man chose inappropriately to adopt 2 young children and to say he's going to be a father. You can't have this type of public example out there. You can't have this type of activity going on in the home where your children are. Cannot happen. It's wrong. Help us grow the Fearless Army. Pound that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with all your fearless friends.